Hey guys, it's Ani. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing a lot of things that helped me get my manifestations faster, get my SP coming in a better version than ever before. Same thing that I share with my clients too. So things that helped me, things that helped my clients have breakthroughs. I'm going to be sharing that. We're going to go over things that are natural in the manifestation journey. You're probably going to have, days of doubts and fears and emotions, which is completely normal. I don't want you to beat yourself up over that, thinking it's not. Um, so before we get into that, I'm gonna give you guys a lot of like good tips and do's and don'ts that have helped me. Before we get into that though, you guys have been so amazing with these courses, like the success stories you guys are sending in with these courses. Like I am just so amazing. I am proud of each and every one of you. Now, you don't have to try anything. You could just literally get some info online and attempt things for yourself. You don't have to watch any of the videos. You don't have to do any of the courses, but if you feel like you need that extra push, that extra guidance, I highly recommend it because all these success stories coming in and all these people getting evidence and feeling so motivated, it makes my day. So, all right, you guys, let's get into um our video. So, you guys, I don't know if any of you have felt like this on your journey. I'm sure you have, but if you have, comment down below. Where sometimes you are so on track, you're like, I know it, I feel it, right? And then there comes like this period of time, maybe it's a day, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days, where you completely feel like you don't know how law of assumption works, even though you've seen so much evidence in the past. But there comes this time frame where it's like you have like amnesia or something, you don't remember, and you get in your doubts, your fears and worries. I want to let you know this would happen to me all the time. By the way, it happens to my clients sometimes too. um it is completely normal. This happens because you are going from your old programming. Remember, we are kind of like rewiring and training and disciplining your brain, your subconscious mind, to think the better thoughts, not like just the positive thoughts, but you're rewiring your brain to think towards your desire. And it may feel hard sometimes because you have so many years of programming of the undesired story, right? So think about it. You've gone, okay, let's say like you're 25, 30 years old, let's just say, for example. So you've gone from the day you're born to like 25 or 30, now barely finding out about law of assumption, right? All this time, you've been training yourself to think, okay, and society is the same way too. Something happens, I react to it, right? Something happens, I react to it. I sit in my reaction, I feel the emotions, I feel the fears, I feel the doubts, I feel the anxiety, which now if you know about law of assumption, law of attraction, you're maximizing that experience, which is going to push out more and more in your 3D reality, which you don't want, right? So what you're kind of doing is you're building momentum towards the undesired story, right? But as reactors, that's what you're kind of just like disciplined to do. I see something, I don't like it, I react to it, I sit in the reaction. Maybe it takes a few hours, maybe it takes a few days. For some people, it takes a few months, a few years. Like, for example, trauma could be very, could sit with you for many, many years. And you go all these years not knowing that if I change my story, if I change my thoughts, if I don't really react, but I internalize it as this is feedback and I need to change something within my internal world so the external can shift to match my internal, you don't know that. So that's why you go so many years doing this. But now that you know law of assumption, now that you know law of attraction, law of assumption, now that you know that your thought transmission is real, my thoughts are received by everyone in this projection of my reality. It's a hologram. Everyone receives it. and everyone comes at me, behaves with me, talks to me per my assumptions I have of me and I have of them, right? So think about it. And you can look at this, you can actually reverse engineer and look back at how people treat you and how they are with you. No one really treats you in a way that you don't expect them to, unless it's if it's like complete shocking treatment, right? But most of the time, the way people approach you is kind of how you expect them to anyway, right? Like, let's say if someone's never on time, right? Every time you invite them somewhere, they're never showing up on time, because you just have that assumption that that's that person's characteristic. Or let's say you know someone that like lies a lot, right? And they've done it so many times, you've already created this solid assumption that they're just a liar. They're always telling white lies left and right, and that's what they do, and it never changes. They don't automatically overnight become like this complete honest person with you, right? They can't, because your assumption of them goes to their brain. They don't know you're assuming this of them, but they have no free will. They're just projections of your assumptions, right? And they just think, oh, let me continue to do this, right? Like, it's just natural to them, because in your reality, I like to call it your movie. This is your movie. You are the director of your movie. Everyone is just an actor in your movie. And guess who is calling the shots? Guess who's writing the script? You are. You're writing the script for each and every person in your reality. You're the one saying, oh, okay, let's get my props out, right? You're the one saying, okay, this actor right here is going to be with this characteristic, that characteristic, this characteristic, that characteristic, right? And then let's say SP, right? I'm guilty of this. SP is never going to make time for me, because I've seen him so many times be busy and brush me off to do work and just hustle and all this, and he's not going to make time for me. I have enough evidence of that. I can make a solid assumption that that's pretty much is what's going to happen. But you're not thinking as a creator. Remember, you're thinking as a reactor when you're doing that, okay? And then you're like, okay, and then this person and that person and this person, oh, by the way, me, the role I give myself in this movie, especially if you've been feeling like not chosen, not wanted, not a priority, or if you've ever been rejected and you see yourself as a rejected person, you're like, okay, me, every single relationship I get into, it's going to start off sweet, it's going to be great, and then something's going to go sour, it's not going to work out, because that's how it's always been in my reality. That is what a reactor does. A reactor takes what's already happened to them and uses that as their cue, as their point of focus, and creates more of it. A reactor never shuts off that, oh, let me check 3D, let me validate all that evidence. Okay, see, I'm not chosen again. Oh, it's not going to work out again. That's what I expect. It's never working out for me. A reactor never shuts that off. A reactor is always checking and then validating themselves. Oh, see, it didn't work. See, it didn't work. A creator, which all of you are, even if you don't feel like it right now, you are a creator. I'm telling you, you're a creator. Ani said you're a creator, so you're a creator. Because Ani didn't even feel like a creator, but she pushed through, and Ani got like literally 90% of everything she wanted, and now she wants every single one of you to get everything you ever wanted. So I've been there, you guys, but this is what a creator does. Creator doesn't care what's going on in their 3D world. A creator understands the principles, the laws. Circumstances do not matter in your reality. I don't care if there's a third party. I don't care if there's 15 third parties. I don't even care if you don't even know the person and you just saw them on the street and you think they're so amazing and you want to meet with them and you want to have a relationship with them. No circumstance matters. What matters is the story you create. Remember, this is your movie. So all these little actors you hired in your movie, you are creating a story with them, whether you like it or not. A lot of the story comes from old programming, which we don't want to continue to do, unless the old programming is great. But if it's great, I don't think you would be watching this video right now. So what a creator does is takes all these actors in their holographic, in their 3D reality, and starts, like, let's say if it's SP, right? You start picturing, visualizing, affirming, imagining, whichever way you prefer. There's no right or wrong way, whatever makes you feel comfortable. You start creating a new story with you and this person. And if you have a history with this person, sometimes it feels harder. Yes, I know. Welcome to the club. I've been there. I knew SP like 8 years before I knew law of assumption. So there's 8 years worth of recreating to do, but it doesn't take that long to recreate someone. Anyway, you start building your new story. You start envisioning the version of you that's in this better relationship. You start envisioning the better version of your SP that's in this new story, new relationship. What most of us do is we go backwards, and the old programming is like, no, 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 no. You can't have a good relationship with this person. Remember all these things they did to you in the past. Remember all these ways you felt. Remember you were rejected. Remember you weren't chosen. How could you be chosen in this new reality? Well, we're not going to listen to ego, because ego is just trying to keep you safe, because ego is just looking at your old 3D and saying, hey, this happened. I'm trying to keep you safe from it, right? But you as a creator, you're like, no, ego, you don't got to keep me safe. You don't have to do any of that, because I know I am a creator. I know that all of that happened because of my old thoughts, assumptions, and beliefs. That's why it happened. They just pushed out, and that person had to behave per my thoughts and assumptions, right? So now I know you guys are thinking, and I say it a lot in my videos, you guys are probably thinking like, I didn't want my specific person to act or behave in a negative way over and over and over again, to not choose me, but they did. It's not me, it's them, right? Well, if that's happened to you, either you inside of you do not feel good about yourself, you do not feel worthy of a loving, committed relationship, or they probably behaved one time in a way that you didn't like. They probably did something that didn't sit well with you. They said something that didn't sit well with you. And it was like probably in the beginning of the relationship, right? And you didn't like it, and you internalized it. And you probably didn't know at the time about law of assumption. You probably didn't know at the time about my thoughts create, my assumptions create, and it makes other people behave in certain ways towards me, right? So most of the old version of your SP, you probably didn't know you were creating along the way with all these assumptions. It was all unconscious. That's how it's been with me in my relationship. When I met SP for many, many years, I had no idea my assumptions are creating. And I had a lot of reactive days. And a lot of days I would internalize that, focus on it, and it just didn't feel good. And I created more and more and more of it. And I just kept thinking something's wrong with that person. But when you realize your thoughts create and assumptions create, you look back and you're like, oh my God, I literally was assuming all of these behaviors from this person, right? So I see it in my clients too, you guys. That's the biggest thing. We create someone unconsciously like that, and then we're not understanding why they're coming at us that way. Or maybe we feel something inside of us, maybe something's happened in our past, we felt not chosen, we felt not a priority, we felt abandoned, and we never really dealt with that. We just identified with it, and then it's projecting back out from another person, right? So all these things matter. So what you want to do is, I really want you guys to list the characteristics that you don't like in SP. I want you to identify them. I want you to identify how you feel when you think of them as well right now, because that is so important. If you're manifesting a specific person and you think of your specific person right now, I'm going to ask you one question. What do you think your specific person thinks of you right now in this very moment? If you think they don't care about you, you are not their priority. If you think they're happier somewhere else or with someone else, the story needs to change immediately. The story needs to change to a better feeling story. And don't worry about believing it right now. Don't worry about feeling it. Don't worry about believing the new story. Just persist in the new story. You will feel it real when you get evidence of them changing their behavior in 3D to match your internal world and internal persisting. Okay? So I'm going to say it again. You do not need to worry about feeling your affirmations real, believing in your affirmations. You do not need to worry about feeling your internal conversations real or believing in your internal conversations right now. That's number one. Feeling and believing is secondary. We're not worrying about that right now. And I know most of you are very anxious and feeling depressed and worried that you'll ever get SP. And that's why I'm saying this, because it's very important. You do not have to. 99% of my manifestations and huge breakthroughs, I didn't feel them real or believe them when I was persisting, but I still received them. The feeling comes after. When you get the evidence, you're like, okay, I can feel good right now because I did that. Number two, why do we persist? We persist not because we're obsessed and we need to have the evidence now. I mean, everyone would love their evidence now, but there's a bridge of incidents that needs to happen in your 3D world so things unfold naturally, okay? So while things are unfolding naturally, you might not see anything change in your 3D. You might not hear anything from SP that validates the change, but there is a change happening, and one day, sooner or later, I will share a huge breakthrough I've had with my specific person that literally proves that movement's always happening. I'll share it in a future video. But I'm telling you guys, there's always movement. And most of the time, you're not going to see it. But guess what? We don't see this force, this power bringing it to existence in our reality, right? But how many manifestations have you had so far? You've probably had bits and pieces of a bunch of them, right? Most of my clients have had big breakthroughs. So if you're watching, I love you guys. I love all of you, by the way. But anyway, you will feel like it's a miracle every single time when your manifestation comes through. But there's always movement happening. Always movement happening, you guys. I cannot stress this enough. And the only way you'll know and feel it on your own skin is if you practice this. Practice makes perfect. Build the belief. I say it in every video. Build the belief. Intent. People say certain things to you, and then you see the thought transmission happening with them when they say it to you. Exact word for word sentences, compliments. You'll see that, wow, okay, this person received my assumption and thought, and they just projected it back out to me. I did that. Like, I didn't see the actual receiving and all of that. I didn't see the energy go to them or the thought transmission go to them, but I saw the evidence of it, right? You don't even need to be honest. Don't worry about the how, but you need to worry about where you're at with your thoughts and your story, because your internal world is already programmed to take you on autopilot back to your old story, because you've trained yourself to go to the old story for so many years, probably, of not being chosen, not being wanted. Doesn't matter. Whatever your old story is, you've trained yourself. You haven't persisted in the new story long enough to outweigh the old story. I can guarantee it, because I've been through it. It doesn't matter. Your reactive life has been way longer than your creative life, right? So we want to make the creator part of you heavier. We want to make the new story, the persisting, heavier, because the more dominant that is, the more evidence you're going to receive of that reality, which is going to make you feel better going forward, stronger creator, and you're just going to get better results. You're going to see it for what it is. You're going to see that you're a creator. You're going to see the evidence sooner or later. But don't worry if you're not seeing it now. Go within. Circumstances do not matter. I don't care if SP is posting pictures with their new SP. I don't care if SP has 15 wives or husbands. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if your specific person is far away. It doesn't matter if they're living in Antarctica or the North Pole and you're in California and it's 90 degrees. None of it matters, you guys. All that matters is what's playing on in here all the time. That's why I asked that question. What do you think your specific person thinks of you right now? That is an indication of where your state is. States is what pretty much creates your future experience. If you're in the state of lack, and if you keep focusing on that, you're going to get more of that in your 3D. And then you're going to feel like you're in this never-ending cycle. So if you're in this state of lack right now, and your answer to that question is they probably don't care, get your notebook out and write out, imagine, how wonderful would it be? Isn't it wonderful? And then go on with this new story. Because you have options to think of old story or new story at any given moment. You're free to do so. No one's holding you down and saying you cannot focus on this or the other. Like, you're free to do whatever. You're free to think whatever. But if your thoughts create, if your assumptions create, if those people are receiving your thoughts and they don't have free will, this is all a projection of your mind. Why feed them and yourself and your subconscious the old story that never served you? Why waste time? Right? You guys, you got this. I know you do. I've been through it. All my clients have been through it, but it's success after success after success, evidence after evidence after evidence. For those of you that resonate, comment down below. I know you can do this, you guys. I will not let you give up. I seriously won't, because I remember the days I wanted to give up. And if I gave up and I didn't persist, I literally wouldn't have all these breakthroughs with my specific person. My specific person was literally like, don't want to be in a relationship. We're not going to talk about feelings. Like, complete macho, stubborn person. Complete opposite now. Like, so many breakthroughs, so many. And for those of you that tried out the courses and are sending in success stories, I will be sharing them soon. So if you haven't heard your success story yet, don't worry, I will get to it. If you guys are interested in any of the courses, the links are going to be in the description box down below. It also, you guys, I say this in every video, but I'm going to say it again because there's always confusion. The courses, you have full access to them the moment you purchase them. So when you go to purchase a course, it gives you a date and time. Don't worry about the date and time. The moment you purchase it is the moment you have full access to it. So there's no waiting period. All right, you guys. I will see you in the next video, but please keep going. You got this. I love every single one of you. And I will see you in the next video.